Rogers, everybody. Dirk Rogers. Welcome, Mr. Rogers. How you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to get started, can you just give us like a quick background on, you know, all the work you've done?
Sure. I started doing makeup effects in 1989. I couldn't really figure out how to get into all of the different shops that do it. So I instead started doing music videos. And I really enjoyed the quick turnaround. The concept creation within 48 hours was great for me. Um, and the first like 10 years of doing that, I started to. Um, sorry, I'm getting a little feedback from you.
Oh, really?
My apologies. Yeah, I'm hearing when I apologize when I speak. I hear myself like a second later, and it's throwing me off guard.
Oh, okay. You might want to turn it down a little. Yes. Go ahead and cut that down a little bit. All right. Is that better?
Hold on, let me see. Is that better? Nope. It's still the same.
Do you think it's like a lag or is
maybe my mic's up too loud? That might be better. Hello, hello. Yeah. I'm still hearing a bit of feedback, but it is a lot less. So, want me just to start from the top?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. So I started doing makeup effects in 1989. I couldn't figure out how to get into any of the shops that were doing the movies, and so I started independently doing music videos. I really enjoyed the concept to creation, the 48-hour timeline. Stay up all night for a night, figuring out how to do it. The next night, you execute it, and then stay up all night, take it to set in the morning. Probably in the late 90s, I started making enough connections that I could get into a shop. And I started working for a guy named Screaming Matt George. And did a few more music videos for him. Made some more connections through him, and then moved on. Finally settling at KMB on the movie Land of the Dead in 2004. And I've been lucky enough to be there ever since.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been in the business since '89, and I mean, man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It's amazing to be able to stay in anything that long.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Now me, I want to get into kind of quick talk about The Walking Dead because that's a show that I ain't gonna say I grew up on, but it started when I was a freshman in college. So I feel like we both matured with each other.
Together.
And yes. Now are you kind of like you feel like how I feel, like upset and sad that, this is the last season working on that show?
Well, there is going to be a few spin-offs.
Oh, okay.
Tales of the Walking Dead, and things like that. I mean, I'm not sure that AMC has done milking the Walking Dead yet, for all it's worth.
Right.
But it has certainly been a large part of my life since the first episode.
Yes.
I've always been a huge fan of zombies, and the one thing that I really like about working for Walking Dead, one that my boss Greg is the person that can say, "Hey, we're not going to just do the CG version of this. You guys have 2 days to figure out how we're going to cut his leg off on camera." And I really love doing gags and things like that. So The Walking Dead has really allowed me to flex creative muscles that I normally wouldn't have on just a regular basis for the past 10 years.
Yeah. Now what is it like working on that set? Because I know that you all are together for months at a time, correct?
They are. I'm in Los Angeles,
Okay.
where we do most of the build in Chatsworth, and then we send everything to Atlanta. Greg has his personal crew that he's pretty much worked with for the entire show run. So I don't actually go to Atlanta ever. When he comes and shoots in LA, they do pickup shots. They shot what was it, season 10? There was a bunch of zombies going off the cliff.
Right.
And at one point, they wanted to have some close-ups of the zombies eating one of the main characters. And so Greg had me and another guy, Kiss, come out to the set, which was in Los Angeles, and had us rip this guy apart and eat him.
Wow. Now, with you being based in Los Angeles, that is where they shoot Talking Dead, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so do you have anything to do with like the props and that stage setup or anything, or is that
Any of the props that are from there usually come from our shop, so I certainly would have had a hand in building them. There's a group of about 30 to 40 people at any one time in the shop in LA, so I'm just part of that team.
okay? Now, you have some.
I wanted to ask more about like the creative side of things. So when you say you like ripped or ate a person, like were you the zombie or were you the person who created the, like the injury or created the fake death? Like, which part?
I would be in that particular scene. I was the zombie eating. I was also being the effects artist. I'm also the guy that created the muscle tissue, the silicone tissue for me to like rip and eat.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it started out as just me being an effects artist, but because I'm tall and thin and I have a bit of alopecia, so I don't have any eyebrows, makes it easier to glue makeup on me. Also, if I work for them like Greg, they can take advantage of me and abuse me a lot more. So I tend to do a lot of the build itself, and then they'll come to me and say, "Guess what you're doing tomorrow? We need you on set at 5 a.m. to get into zombie makeup."
Yes,
Nice.
and I know that take great skills because I know that you're on the makeup side. But like, how long does it take you to get into that zombie, mode? Because from my understanding, that that's a long process, and y'all have professional zombies. I mean, if
Lots
that's a
of
thing,
zombies.
yeah. So like, how do you channel your inner zombie?
I usually move from the waist, and I'm a big fan of the old Romero zombies. So one thing that I've noticed that a lot of the local people that get hired in Atlanta, they have a lot of emotional reaction. And as a zombie, I've always felt more toward the Romero side, where they are very apathetic. Just they might show recognition, but they're not like.
Yeah.
So for me, it's wiping out the emotion, moving from your waist, and having a slight disconnect with your limbs and your mind, in that you may see something and your head turns, and then your body would turn afterwards, because everything's kind of slowed down in my mind.
Oh, I
Man.
love that.
Yes.
I guess you never really think to put it together like that, especially as someone who's not in the art industry, right? And so when you do that and you put yourself in that mental state, how long does it take you to get there though? Like, are you like immediately like, oh, I'm just gonna snap into it, or do you like practice for a while, look in the mirror? Like, what do you do?
When I'm getting made up, it depends on how long or uh, in depth the makeup is. If it's just a grease paint makeup with some teeth, then I might just be in this chair for like 20 minutes. Then I would go outside and I would start to try to get into it, find what the wounds are, how they may affect my acting if I have my eyes pulled out, or if there's something sticking out of me, that's gonna. But if I'm in the chair getting something that's really extensive, you're watching it change. You're watching yourself become this character, and as that happens, you kind of start to fall into the character, and as they turn to to pick something up off the table, you're kind of making faces, just seeing how it goes.
Yeah. So and that's exactly why I was asking, because I'm like, man, I know it takes, from you to go to, makeup artist to zombie. I know that can be challenging.
It's not as challenging as you think, especially if you're already a horror fan, because you have so much in your mind of having grown up as a monster kid that there's so much to access already. And I think the challenge is trying not to copy someone else's, and the Greg always has input, like no smiling. I don't want to see zombies with their hands out like Frankenstein. He's definitely of the school of Romero, so he likes the zombies to be very much like George's.
Yeah. Now, to kind of jump into another film that you worked on that I love was The Countdown, and like, can you explain like how much input you had on that, like, or?
I didn't have too much input in it. Howard Berger, my other employer, the B and K and B, came to me and said, "I've got something I think you're going to really do good in. Let's go and meet the director and such." I went over and I talked to them. They showed me the original drawings of the character, and I was like, "This sounds like fun." The hardest thing with that character is that I had a bag over my head, which was actually glued to my face. And after the first few days of shooting, one of the producers came to me and was like, "We're just not seeing a lot of emotion from you." And I'm like, I don't have a face. All I have are two glowing blue eyes. There's not much I can do. And so the effects artist, Kevin Wasner, came in and kind of altered. He drew some eyebrows basically on me that made me look angrier, and they opened up the mouth a little bit so that you could see the teeth. And then we practiced a little bit of different moves, something a little bit more animated. It's interesting because as you before you get on set, you look at your character and you say, okay, well, how is this going to move? How do I interpret this? And you get all these ideas, you do all this research, and then you walk in the first day, and you're ready to start doing all these things, and the director goes, "Okay, don't move. No, stand right there. Don't move." And you're like, "Okay, I'll just stand here." Then you kind of wait for his input and his vision to influence you and how you, and then you kind of find a cool medium. But I had come into that thinking I was going to do a lot more animated, Doug Jones kind of hands, things like that, because you couldn't really see my face, so my emotion would really come from my hands and my movement. But the director didn't want that at all. He wanted me just to stand there, very stoic, almost like a just classic death figure, with a sickle missing, but. That was it. We did do a lot more stuff in that didn't end up making it into the film. Tom Segura's death, which shows up at the very end.
Yes.
That actually was in the middle of the film, and there was a whole sequence that got cut out of that, which I'm kind of disappointed because I did a bunch of wire work, and there was an homage to God, let me think. It is, I want to say it's Nightmare on Elm Street. Basically, as his girl goes into the bathroom, and he's like, "Where'd everybody go?" The lights go out. He leans back, and from the center of his table where he's having dinner, I start to rise up out of it, under the sheet, and my hands are kind of like this. And as I get to the top, I start to pull the sheet down. You can see the claws, you can see the blood leaking through the sheet. And I step completely blind, mind you, because I was under a sheet. Stepping forward off the table, down onto his chair, and walking toward him as he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
As I pull the sheet down, we flip the sheet onto his head, and then he's under there kind of, take it out. And then under the sheet, you see my eyes glowing like I'm under there with him, and as he's moving the cloth around, suddenly you just see these blue eyes getting closer and closer to him. He pulls the sheet off. I'm not there. And he looks around, and all of a sudden you see this drip of slobber come down his forehead. And he looks up, and they had built a whole ceiling set that I'm on the ceiling crawling around, kind of like Exorcist 3. And he's like, holy shit. And at the same time, I look down at him and I just go, "Wah!" And then they had me on wires. They put the camera up about 30 feet. And from being on the ceiling set, they shot me up to the camera. So it looked like I actually, they reversed it. It looked like I was dropping down onto him. I was so excited about this shot. And I saw the movie and I was like,
what?
And that's you kind of got to get used to it. That was a bit of a blow because I was so invested in all the cool stunt work that I got to do in that. I made friends with all the stunt people, and they were like, "Oh, we want to hire you some more for some stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, this is fun." And then I saw the movie, and I was like, "It's fine. I don't care."
What was it like working with Tom Segura?
He was fun.
Man,
he was a lot of fun. He was a big joker.
Yes.
Very professional. But every time he'd be cut, there's a little bit of room for some levity. He would always say something. So he was really cool.
And I think that he brought that, he kind of brought that movie, like he just put the touch to it that just made the movie even that much more better.
Agreed. The only thing I can say is I wish that his death didn't. When I saw the film and his death was literally at the very end, it didn't quite make any sense to me because it was so far back in the story, according to the script. So I really wish we could have seen more. I really wish we could have seen me kill him.
Yeah.
Because after that, I almost forgot what the cap is. That after I land on him. And there's some screaming, and then it kind of goes to black, and then the story continues. The main actress then goes and sees, and Tom's brain has been removed, and he's sitting in a hospital bed, he's just drooling, and they're like, he's going to be like this for the rest of his life, and he's probably going to live for at least another 80 years. Basically saying that what he had changed on his phone, I'm going to live for this long. He's going to live for that long, but he's going to be a vegetable in a bed.
Yes. Oh man, so he really had a bigger part in the movie.
Yes, he did. Very sizable.
Oh wow. Yeah. Because he.
So I keep hoping that one day I'm going to see the director's cut.
Yeah, I'm sure they might. They should come out with that.
I hope so.
Yeah. Now was. I understand that you started off in music. Do you play? Are you a musician yourself? Do you play?
I'm a vocalist, so I'm kind of unhindered by talent. But I play in a grindcore band since 1989. That's basically just death metal, really fast drums, but with a social political bent in the lyrics. I am the last original member from '89. And that's. So I play a lot of screaming.
Now, who did you start the band with? Was it just people you grew up with?
I started the band with in 1989. I couldn't figure out how to. Well, actually, in '87 I graduated high school, and I couldn't figure out how to get into the makeup industry. And so my first idea was that I would go to makeup supply houses that catered to a lot of the effects artists that I looked up to. When I started working at a place called Cinema Secrets, I met a girl. I was 17 and she was in her mid-30s. And she had two sons. And I started my band with them.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
To get close to their mom.
Yes. And then we needed a guitarist, and so my childhood friend that he and I had come up with, he was an old mate, and he said, I can do it. And so our first record was him playing the same four chords on every song. But because it's grindcore and you can't really understand, and it's not a lot of clarity, it sounded fun.
Now, go ahead.
Since we're talking about your childhood, I sort of want to ask a little bit further about that, right? So you started with heavy metal, and you have this really cool mohawk, and you have like skeletons and things on your background, on your clothes. Like, have you always been like this? Is this like something you've been into since you were young, or did you just like realize it as you got older? Like you really wanted to continue to pursue like the makeup and the art in all of these.
My mother always hated me because she said, I've been extremely jealous of people like you who, from before you could walk, knew what you wanted to do.
Wow.
At age 3 in 1973, I wrote my first report, and it was a review of Godzilla versus Monster Zero.
Oh my god.
I have always, my first love was dinosaurs,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that they were real was amazing to me. And my father was a huge horror fan. He got me into all the classic monsters as well as all the kaiju, Godzilla, War of the Gargantuans, Rodan. And I was I wanted to be a mad scientist or a monster, and I didn't know how that happened. So when I was young, I got a book from the library called Movie Monsters, and it was by a guy named Thomas Aylesworth. And in each chapter was like the world's best uh, man-made monster, the world's best vampire, and there were all these shots of Lon Chaney like doing his own makeup, and Bela Lugosi doing his own makeup for Dracula, as well as Haru Nakajima, the original suit guy for Godzilla. And I just started realizing that I could do this.
Yeah.
I could be like them. I could be like my heroes. And it was all I ever wanted to do. As most monster kids are a bit of outsiders, I spent a lot of time in high school alone or with the bad kids who all like monsters too. And as soon as I graduated, I again couldn't figure out how to become an effects artist. So I went to all the makeup supply houses, met some people there, and then they were a few years younger than, or a few years older than me. And they would be like, "Hey, I'm going out. Do you want to help out on this? You know, I can't pay you, but at least you'll be able to get your feet wet." And it turned out to be music videos because it was like 1990, 1991.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept going and kept doing it. And I really loved, like I said, getting the quick turnaround. I really accelerated at the, okay, you've got a day to come up with how you're going to do this. I don't know. And I would go home and I'd be like, and work on it. And yeah, and that's kind of how I just fell into it.
That's awesome. I think that's an amazing story. And I too am like your mom. Like, so long we do all these different things, right? You go to school for one thing, then you end up doing something else, and then you're tired of doing something else. And it's like, if we all just followed our hearts from the very beginning and just stuck with it, and you just figured out a way to do it and make your dreams come true. So that's definitely admirable.
Thank you. I really just never had. It's my first love. It's probably my second love as well. And there was nothing else for me ever in my mind. It was success or death.
Do you, other than like those monsters style movies, are you into other horror movies too, like Annabelle or those types?
I love all genre movies. I would say my favorite is anything that is monsters. I like anything that is of the supernatural. The only kind of genre films that I don't really gravitate to are ones with human monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just enough in the world, and I love my Texas Chainsaws, and I love all my old Tom Savini slashers and all of those. But I just don't like anything that is overly misogynistic or is just cruel. And I just, human monsters are just not my thing. I don't gravitate towards serial killer films. I don't gravitate toward mean-spirited films. Though I do have an affection for the 70s. But yeah, I love Annabelle. I love all kaiju, of course. I love anime, horror, horror comedies. There's a great new one that just came out called Spontaneous. It's awesome. It's like a John Hughes film with blood.
Yeah. Now, I know you're big into horror. What was a set that you worked on, that wasn't horror that you liked the most or you really enjoyed?
Probably the music videos. There was a time I was Justin Timberlake's makeup artist on an NSYNC video,
Oh,
and it was called "It's Got to Be Me." We had to turn him into a living doll, and that was one of those. We had to actually have small little doll heads of them, and so we were up the whole day before working on those, and then we would stay up all night getting the makeup and everything ready, and then we took it to set at like 6 in the morning. That was with Screaming Mad George. And that was just one of the funnest times on set. The guys in NSYNC were really fun, really down to earth. And at that point, I really didn't know who NSYNC was. And Justin was dating Britney Spears. And I didn't know who she was at all. And so they'd come up and start talking to me, and I would just be like, blah, 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 hi, because I just didn't know who they were, and so there was no weight to having their presence, and they were just the most, and I think they really appreciated that, and so they were really down to earth, and I just had, I think we were on set for about 18 or 19 hours,
oh,
and it was just a lot of fun. Yeah.
For a music video?
Yeah, for music video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What was it like working on The Hangover? Because I was hoping that you said The Hangover, because I was like,
I didn't go on set for The Hangover.
okay.
I used to go on set a whole lot when I was younger, and then I kind of got my life going, and
Oh,
I have
yeah.
my cats and my wife, and my band, and so I kind of had pulled back on going on set for quite a few years, and it's only in the last 5 or 6 that I've started really stepping into doing creature suit work, that I've really started to enjoy it. It's something fresher for me.
Okay.
But The Hangover, I made the little penis that gets pulled, and we figured out how to do all of that, but all that was done in shop.
Okay. Oh man, yeah. I was hoping you said, man. I really enjoyed. It was all fun on Hangover. Uh, what exactly? What prop did you do in Pain and Gain? I'm sorry. I'm just because, like I said,
No,
I'm such a fan of your work. I just wanted, like, man, like all the movies that I enjoy. It looks like that you had hand in, creating something on all of them. So
the Pain and Gain, Michael Bay. We had been doing, K&B does a lot of the Michael Bay films since Transformers, and when Pain and Gain came up, it was a chance to do some blood and guts. I help. I do the casting at K&B, and so I'll do a lot of the silicone work, and so where they cut up the woman, or where they drop the giant weight on the guy's head and turn him into a clam head, made all of that.
Wow.
wow. Now, and I kind of noticed. Yeah, I kind of noticed that you're in, a lot of Michael Bay's movies. Are you all real good friends?
No.
Really?
No. Michael Bay, I actually have only been on set with Michael Bay. I did some puppeteer work on his newest film called Ambulance, and I believe that's coming out sometime later this year. But he's a very volatile personality on set, and I had been warned when I first walked on set by everybody there saying, just stay out of Mike's way, and when he calls you, be really ready. He's a screamer. And I witnessed all of that. And we were shooting in downtown LA. And at one point, I was kind of sitting over by base camp with my body and waiting to go and puppeteer it. And I could hear him screaming through a bullhorn as it bounced off all of the buildings.
Yeah.
And that just kind of put the fear of God in me, actually. Because I was like, I had been waiting all day to go and be in front of him and shoot this. And I could just hear him going, Like, oh boy.
Yeah.
But it went A-okay, and we got the body, we got the rig up there, and the blood started flowing, and he was laughing and having a great time, and which made me relax a lot. And but I'm friends with him. No, not. No, I wouldn't say no.
Okay. I just had to ask. I'm like, man,
Of course.
yeah, you've done, a lot of his movies, so I just had to ask.
Sure.
I wonder your zodiac sign. Are you gonna tell me?
Sorry.
Your zodiac sign.
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. What?
What is your zodiac sign?
My zodiac sign?
Yes.
Libra.
Ooh.
I am born in October 1st. Yes. No other month would have me.
I can see that. I ask everybody their zodiac sign, and I always try to talk to someone for a little bit and then try to pick it up. And I was like, he's definitely an air sign, for sure. I was gonna say either Gemini or Libra.
I'm definitely an airhead and an air sign.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's get into the hit show that you actually, act in, and that's Them. Like, are you kind of like, are you shocked like how the reviews and how everybody is just following this show, or did you kind of know like this would be a big show?
I knew this was going to be a very divisive show. When I hadn't read all of the scripts, but I had certainly read episode 5. And when I read that, I was like, ooh, this is heavy.
Yes.
And I did think there was going to be a bit more positive. I know that it's #1 on Amazon. I know there's been a lot of positive reviews, but I was a little bit taken back by the negativity that it seems to elicit as well. It's very divisive. I've seen it called trauma porn, and then I've also seen it called the most brilliant show this year. I myself am really proud to be a part of it. I know that the subject material is very heavy, but I had so much fun working with the cast. Melody and Deborah are amazing. Melody, Gracie Jean, was unbelievable. Oh my gosh, she was so great.
Yes. Her future is so bright. I mean, man, she is, yes.
For such a show that had such dark material, she was the shining light every time she's on camera. There's like almost no humor in the entire show, but her facial reactions, oh gosh, she's amazing. And she's a great dancer. Yes. We're in the at the last scene when we're in my classroom. There's two stories actually. The first is that I had this dialogue. At first, I was going to be a silent character the whole time, and then little Marvin decided to write some dialogue for me, and I was totally scared that I was going to have to say like horrible shit to this beautiful girl. Luckily, it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. But as I'm writing on the chalkboard and I'm writing this fucked up version of the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm trying to get her to say it, she yells at me saying, "You're teaching that wrong. You're teaching that wrong." To which I break the chalk, drag my hands down the chalkboard, and turn and look at her. And as I start to walk toward her, you see me pick up that writing prop. Originally, that writing prop was going to have a whole bunch of children's teeth into it, but they thought we're not going to really be able to see that, so let's just take that out. I had been practicing my dialogue because COVID had shut us down for all of the summer. We had gone back in like August to shoot this scene, and I had worked on my dialogue for all those months. So I was like, okay, how do I do this without? This is my first time playing a woman professionally. But how do I do the voice? I knew that they were at the end going to have the Black Hat Man overdub my voice, but how do I do a woman's voice without sounding like Monty Python? So I had that in my head, and then as I walked in, the director Ty West came up and said, "Hey, they've changed all your dialogue. They've taken it all out. You have the lines from the beginning, the lines from the end to say." Oh, okay, well, let's try it. And I go in and I do that, and I'm standing there and I say my dialogue to her, and I screwed it up. And I'm like, "Sorry, guys, let's take that again." So I do it again, and I screw it up. And I'm like, oh. At that point, Melody stops, leans forward, puts her hand on me, and says, "It's okay, honey. Just breathe. You'll be all right." At that point, I couldn't stop smiling. So we had to take another vote because I was just like, "Oh my God, you are the best." And after that, I nailed it right then.
I need a little support.
I absolutely love Melody. After that, they had Deborah come in and say the line, "Not today, Miss Vera, you bitch." And as she comes to me, I ran at her. Well, we didn't tell Melody that we were going to do that so that they could get her to react naturally. So when I turn and I scream and jump on Lucky, and I'm as soon as they yelled cut, Melody ran over and separated us. And my friends don't fight.
Aww.
No.
She is such a sweetheart.
She's amazing.
But even in the show, she is she is just such a sweetheart.
Well,
but she is, yeah. She's like the only character that doesn't seem broken by her ghosts.
Yes. Yeah. And she said, I felt like she had a different relationship with her ghost than everybody else did too. Like you said, hers wasn't trauma, I don't think. Which is why she, she showed Miss Vera so much respect and she believed it in her.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that she saw Miss Vera. Miss Vera is the only white person in this whole show that doesn't say some nasty shit to anybody. She's wonderfully silent, which I'm very grateful for. And I think that allowed Gracie Jean to have a bit of a different relationship. There's some ambiguity, there's some gray area. I don't just. Whenever she says, "Well, Miss Vera says this," you don't actually see me saying that. It's it's because she's a precocious 5 or 6, 7-year-old. You take it with a bit more of a grain of salt that it could be in her head. It's just it's just not as nasty as like the tap dance man.
Yeah. Now, do you ever do you feel yourself trying to defend your co-stars that you with, like Allison Peel? I know a lot. I mean, I kind of feel bad for her because she's only playing a character, but a lot of people are saying some very nasty things about her. Do you find yourself defending anybody on the set?
I'll defend anybody on the set. I believe everybody really put their 100% into this, and if you despise one of the characters, that just means that they did a good job. Allison doesn't do the writing; she does the acting.
Right.
And the same is said of the Black Hat Man. The same is any of the characters. I just think this is one of those shows that everybody was really firing on all thrusters, and if it's upsetting, it's kind of meant to be upsetting. And it's easy for people, especially it seems in this day and age, that people believe everything they see on a screen as truth without realizing that people like Allison are just acting out a part. They are supposed to be the bad guy. You are supposed to not like him. And that's, to me, that's a successful actor. It sucks that anybody has to take the positive with the negative, especially in something like this. These times are very incendiary, and I think everybody just wants to point a finger. But I I would absolutely defend anybody in this cast. I mean, if they said anything that was out of context, that they said personally had nothing to do with the show, or they were on the show and then they espoused an opinion that was of their personal opinion. But then I would, of course, take umbrage with that. But anybody that's just trying to work in the show, I absolutely would defend to the end.
And that is great. And I just brought her up because I very rarely get emotionally attached to a show like this where I'm actually angry at a character, and she had me there. And then I had to realize, like, I called Cece, and I'm like, I am really angry at this character. And then I'm like, wait a minute, it's a show. She's just doing a great job. Like, you gotta back off a little bit. But I just saw some of the backlash that she had for playing a role, and I just my heart was kind of like felt sorry for her.
Yeah, I'm not sure how she feels about it, but I would hope that she would at least be able to say to herself, I did a good job because these people have had such a gut reaction to my acting.
Right. Yeah. Now, you play, in my opinion, the scariest character on the show. Like, how did you get yourself, in gear for that?
Originally, Javier Patet from Mama and Rec, he had been hired to play Miss Vera, and they had done a whole different, like a whole head prosthetic on him. And unfortunately, Javier isn't able to run around and move quite, I believe, because of health issues. And he at one point had to step out. When they brought me in, they changed all of the makeup and made it just stretch and stipple. So it's mostly just my face, with the exception of two cheekbone prosthetics. Once I got into that makeup, I would sit for about an hour and just make faces at myself. The wardrobe was also very informative of my character and how I moved. I had a very tight dress on, and I was put in about 4-inch lifts inside my shoes. So I was a little bit off. And I would just sit in, once I had my contact lenses in and I was in full effect, I would sit in my trailer and just sit and stare at myself and make faces and try to get kind of a like I had to stick up my butt kind of a walk. And I would also say that being around my co-stars whenever, and also just being on the set, especially inside the classroom, I would go in there and I would stand there with Melody, and we would kind of talk, and every few minutes, if she would stop dancing, because she would always dance. But we would kind of get into talking, and she would just say, you're really scary, man. You really scare my little sister. And then I would say, well, what's kind of scary? And she's just, you look scary when you do this. And I'd be like, oh, you mean like this? And then I would retain that. So I would definitely go by what my young co-star had said she thought was scary.
Yeah.
I would walk around pretending to have a stick up my butt. And then I would just sit in my trailer and make faces at myself until I felt that it looked like I had sucked on a lemon.
Yeah, I mean, and it's it's funny that you said facial expressions, because to me, that was what that your facial expression, just that look, that dead stare when you're coming into the screen. I'm like, man, he did such a great job of channeling like Miss Vera. Like, it's just like that stale face. And another question I wanted to ask, so that's actually all your movement in that show? Like, because I felt like you may have been like on a hoverboard or something like that, but that's just actually your movement?
Yeah, that's all just me.
Wow.
I believe that the scene, where I think it's in the first episode where I'm sitting at the table in a ring sergeant's collar, we shot that where I walked backwards and then sat down and did it all in reverse. And I feel when I was watching it that that's the shot that they had used.
Oh, okay.
Because
But
there's just a little bit of an off movement that I make as I'm coming toward the camera, and I believe that was the one that I actually had started all the way up at her, and then did everything in reverse, rang, and then sat down and turned my head.
okay, because yeah, I just like, man. Well, you're athletic then, because I mean, when you're, running after characters, or you're like running into the screen, so that's just you running.
Yes.
Okay, do you have like an athletic pass or or something, or is that just
Um. Well, I'm pretty high strung, and I ride a bike a lot,
okay?
so I'm athletic in that respect. And I love coffee, so that kind of gives me a little bit of extra athleticism.
Now, is that just gonna be the only season, or is that kind of gonna be a maybe a spinoff, or
There is a second season. Amazon okayed 2 seasons when they okayed them. I can't tell you anything about the second season because I don't know myself.
okay? I was
My
gonna ask
hope,
'cause
my personal hope is that they're going to follow Gracie Jean, Melody, and have her experience through like the 70s. But I'm going to have to wait and see what little Marvin decides.
okay. Now, before did you do any research on this? Oh, because I did a little bit, and they said like some was based on true events, but I didn't really want to get into it because I was already kind of spooked out about it, the show. So
Mm-hmm.
can you kind of what am
Tell
I
us what was true.
what was true about that show that it wasn't? I mean, obviously the
Well,
racial part, but
yeah, I was going to say all of the things that happened to the Emery family that weren't supernatural, all of that's real. Compton was white until the 50s, with the great black migration started coming west. Uh, everything that the real estate people were talking, that's all real. Um, yeah, Little Marvin really delved into his own experiences and put that to paper. So I would say everything that the Emery family goes through is based in reality.
yeah,
And then he just added on the
Supernatural element.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because he's a horror fan.
Right.
oh, is he?
Oh, huge horror fan.
Okay,
Huge horror fan. Definitely.
More than you.
First time I met him, I went into his office because he was like, I want to see how you move and all of that. I walked in, his whole office was covered in horror lunchboxes.
Oh
Yep.
wow.
Is he more of a horror fan than you?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. We've never sat and talked about, what do you think about this and that and that. But I live and breathe horror. It's my first love, as long as my wife doesn't hear me say that. But yeah, I live, breathe, eat horror. It's how I relax. It's how I wake up. It's how I go to sleep. It's how I dream. It permeates the art I create and the art that I consume.
Wow, that is so amazing. What do you do in your spare time when you're not doing makeup or doing props or acting? Like, what do you do in your spare time?
Well, last year I opened a vegetarian vegan brew pub that we were. It was called Dirk's Terror Tavern, and it was a horror bar that was plant first. Basically, as being a vegetarian for a few years, every time you go out with all your friends who don't eat plants as much, usually you go down the menu and you'll, for $2 extra, can get your veggie burger. I decided to flip that on its head and make everything plant, and if you wanted meat, you could pay the extra $2 and get a meat patty. We were set to open 4 days before the shutdown happened.
Oh my god.
I never got to open the inside. We ended up getting an al fresco license, so I could seat people outside. But my whole bar was based around museum props. I had stuff like the flying eye for Big Trouble Little China in there. I had a full xenomorph. I had each table was different sections. We had a haunted mansion section. We had Asian horror. We had like Toho table. We had LA music scene. That pretty much took up. That was my thing that I did all of last year. Recently, unfortunately, we had to shut down November 1st because we just couldn't hit our numbers. We tried to keep the building until we could reopen, but we just got too in the hole. So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we started pulling everything out. And I'm looking for another place that's nearby, or rather, my wife is for me. So that is pretty much anything before then. I would have said my band, or creating art, or riding my bike, things like that. But in the past year, I would solidly say doing something relaxing, running a restaurant in the middle of the first pandemic of the 21st century.
Now, do you all plan to reopen?
Yes, I do. As soon as I can find a place that I can turn it into a horror haven.
How do you feel about haunted houses?
How do I feel about what?
Haunted houses.
Oh, I love haunted houses. Real ones or populated by people?
The ones that are populated by people. I haven't been to an actual haunted house where they have, where people, it was like asylum or anything like that. But just like haunted houses, like Halloween haunted houses. How do you feel about it?
I love haunted houses. I'm not a big fan of the extreme haunts where they lay hands on you and tie you up and drag you away in a bag. I grew up walking through, and I love when people come out and scare me. But I really don't want you laying hands on me.
I agree.
But I love Halloween. It is one of the funnest. I used to have for 25 years. I had a Halloween party in my backyard. This party I would start building in June, and I would do it every single day until Halloween night. I would then have about 600 people here throughout the course of the night. And after 25 years, I had people coming from all over the world. The last year we did it, I had people from Russia, Ukraine, China, the country of Wyoming. And it was overwhelming to build, but it was so much fun because when you're making a haunted house, you're using all the creative muscles. You're painting, you're acting, you're decorating, you're going out and buying cool stuff and then augmenting it into something else. I really love haunted houses, and I love the sound of screaming children.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite parts of Halloween is scaring the kids, like finding a way to scare the kids. Yeah,
we actually
I think it's really cathartic to scare children.
We were gonna try to do like a Friday the 13th themed birthday party for like our son, and we were gonna try to make it like a haunted house and all that, and we just never. It was just too much work. It was like you said, you started in June. And we just were not prepared for that much. We didn't realize how much it would be, because we both like Halloween as well. So we were, thinking of all these creative things we could do. And we're like, there's no time for all of this. We should have planned for this last year.
Yeah. Well, if you start planning right now, you'll be ready for next year. And you just need to find a space or a little in the closet that every time you're out at like the 99-cent store or something and you see something, you're like, oh, that would be perfect. And then you just put it all into there, and then come September or late August, then start pulling that whole thing out and just start decorating stuff. Also really good to go to all the stores right after Halloween when everything's on sale. And then you just buy a bunch of stuff and put it all into that little case.
Yeah.
And when it comes time to work on it, it's that much easier because you already have everything.
That'd be so cool. Now,
don't give up. Do it.
Now, where can we catch some of your latest work that's coming up? I know you said Michael Bay has a film that's coming out. Where else could we catch?
I've been doing a lot of suit acting on the TV show Orville. I play a lot of the creatures in the background. This coming season, I'm playing a giant character named Unk. He's actually the ship's porno dealer, and he has a well. The suit, it looks like kind of a mutant Ninja Turtle. I mean, a mutant Ninja Turtle. But the head is a giant penis. So I've been playing that. So that would be the next thing that you could see. Other than that, we are Creep Show. We do all the stuff on the new Creep Show TV series for Boss Greg. And you could definitely see our stuff each week that I've been a part of. But acting-wise, the next thing would be Orville as the penis-headed porn dealer.
Okay.
Now where could people find you at? Where could they find you at on Instagram and all the social media and all those other sites?
I am on Instagram. I'm at the Halloween Dirk. And on Facebook, I think I'm just Halloween Dirk. My band is called Badass Trip, and you can find us on either of those social platforms. You can look me up on IMDb if you want to see a lot of the stuff that I've done. Yeah, the whole day, check me out. But that's about it.
Yeah. And for like I said, once again, it was an honor, Mr. Rogers, you coming in and blessing us with your presence. You know, everything that you've done. For everybody out there, if you haven't seen them yet, it's a must watch. Like you said, it's very deep. So you have to go into it with an open mind of like, hey, things are going to get deep, and there's going to be some things that, you know, people they touch on it in a different way. I'm just going to say that. They touch on it in a different way. So I highly recommend it. Like I said, we're going to look forward to seeing, you know, things from you in the future. And thanks again.
Thank you very much. The one thing I'd say about them is definitely watch it, but don't binge it because it's really heavy. So just take little pieces at a time and then absorb it and think about it. And yeah. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we looking forward to that, you know, the bar being open so we can come visit.
And I look forward to meeting you guys in person and putting up a drink with you.
All right. Take care.
Cheers. Peace, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.